Good day, students. Today we are looking at literature under English language literature, and under our literature I want to talk about figures of speech. I know some of you know what figures of speech are. You have come across it in your primary school, so it is not new to some of you. Now, what is figure of speech? Figure of speech are words or group of words used to give a particular emphasis to an idea. It is used to bring out the beauty in the work of arts. Now, we talked about the genres of literature. We have the drama, the prose, and the poem rather. Now, all those three genres of literature, they make use of figures of speech. But those that use it most, they are the poets. Because in poem, if you are familiar with reading poem, you find that they make use of figures of speech a lot. Now we have several figures of speech. You have the simile, the metaphor, the irony, the onomatopoeia, the personification, the imagery. We have the rhetoric question. We have alliteration. We have assonance. We have pun. Name it. Figures of speech, they are numerous. But we want to look at few of these figures of speech. Now, we'll start with simile. What is simile? Simile is comparison of two things that are of different nature, different class, or you compare them using the word as or like. You use the word as or like when you're comparing using simile. For example, Mary is as gentle as an angel. Ade is as cunning as a snake. Ade is as cunning as a snake. Or you said, Ayo is like a serpent. You are comparing Ayo with a serpent. Ayo is like a serpent. That means he has some behaviors that are not straightforward. That is simile. You compare two things of different nature using as or like. Now, metaphor. Metaphor also compares two things of different nature. But in the case of metaphor, it is a direct comparison. Unlike simile where you use as or like, metaphor you don't use as or like. You compare directly. For example, now, when you say, Ade is a lion, you are comparing Ade to a lion. If it is a simile, you will say, Ade is as brave as a lion. But for our metaphor, it is direct. Ade is a lion. Shade is an angel. When we're talking about comparison in simile, we said Mary is as gentle as an angel. But now, we are saying, we are comparing directly Shade to an angel. Shade is an angel. Now, personification. What is personification? Personification is when you give the attributes or the characteristics of an human being to a non-living thing, something that is not human. You give their characteristics, their attributes to those things. For example, the tree is waving at us. A tree cannot wave. A tree is not human. It is we human beings that will wave at ourselves. We see Ashola waving. Tala, how are you? But now you are now seeing the trees. The breeze is blowing them. They are going back and forth, to and fro. You now look at it and say, Mom, you see, the trees, they are waving at us. They are not waving. But you are just personifying the tree. That is personification. Or when you look at the sun, you just come out and you see the sun shining bright and say, oh, the sun is smiling at me. Sun cannot smile. But you are just personifying the sun by giving the attribute of a human being to the sun. By saying the sun is smiling at me. Or you said, Mommy, the morning arrived early today. Morning arrived early today. That means the day broke early. The sun came out very early. Morning cannot arrive. Morning is not a human being. Or you are personifying morning by saying, morning arrived early today. Now onomatopoeia. It is onomatopoeia. Some of you will be saying onomatopoeia. It is not onomatopoeia. It is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is when you represent things with their sound. You represent with their sound. The buzzing of a bee, the honking of a horn. That is it. The hissing of a snake. The hissing of a snake. That is onomatopoeia. You represent things with their sound. Now we have rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions, they are questions that you ask, but it is obvious. The answers are obvious already. You don't have to give the answer. For example, you say, who amongst us has not committed one sin or the other? You are not expected to answer that question. It is a question you will answer inside of you. That is why it is called rhetorical question. Or when you are somewhere and you see the way things are, and the person talking said, why are we all wasting our time here? We all know. It is obvious. Everyone knows that. What is happening there is a waste of time. So you don't have to answer that question. So rhetorical questions are questions that doesn't need an answer. You answer it inside of you. Or answering the question, it helps you to think further. You give it that subject or that idea, you give it a thought. That is why it is rhetorical questions. Do we get that now? Now, alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds. Consonant sounds in a word on a line, in different words on a line. Consonant sound in different words on a line. That is alliteration. Mary married a merry husband. You can see me, consonant sound. So assonance also, you can say, is the opposite of alliteration. It is the repetition of vowel sounds in words on the same line. These three thieves. These three thieves. Now, in assonance, it is not about the letter, but about the sound. These three thieves, it's the E sound. This sound, E. These three thieves. So it is the E sound. E sound. The E sound. That is what. So the vowel sound, alliteration, repetition of consonant sounds on a line, in words on a line. Assonance, repetition of vowel sounds in words on a line. So let's look at these few. We can only look at these few words, these few figures of speech for today. In your notes, at the end of your notes, you have your assignments there. You are going to give me 5 other figures of speech. You get 5 figures of speech, and then you give me 1 example each. The figures of speech you're going to give me must be different from these ones. Do you understand?